In today's video, I want to be telling you how I wrote a letter of explanation that got a husband, wife, and their only child into Canada under 10 days. So, for evidence, look at your screen for the testimonial and also for the visa, the spousal open work permit, and the student visa for both the husband and the wife. Before we wrote the letter, they felt it wasn't possible. Everybody advised against it, but I said this is a possibility. What people don't understand is the letter of explanation is the most important document. That is the thing that the visa officer reads to know everything about you before he now goes to look at the supporting documents to verify what you have said, if it's true or not. But most times when he's discouraged from the letter, doesn't even bother to go through the document. So we've seen very qualified candidates that have all it takes, more than what it takes, but because the letter is not professionally written, then they get disqualified and they'll be wondering, I have all it takes, why was I denied? Just in case you're joining us, this is Drift. On this channel, I tell you about the most important things you need to know as regards your study permit to Canada. So let's go into the letter. Like I said, this letter got a husband spousal open work permit, the wife a study permit, and also the child. Three of them into Canada, and the visa was approved in 10 days. So let's start. Let me tell you what I did. So my name is Mrs. A business analytic enthusiast, and I hail from Nigeria. I write with an immense proclivity to communicate my utmost sincerity and reverence towards satisfying my business-oriented thirst for advanced business and financially inclined knowledge, as it presents a splendid opportunity to showcase my character. Being engrossed with a passion for businesses and an advance for business analytics, I am eager to expand my expertise, and aptitude in pursuit of broadening my horizons academically, professionally, and personally. I seek to undertake the study of a postgraduate certificate in business analytics at the prestigious Conestoga College, Ontario, Canada. That's the first paragraph. Now you can see we started with a very captivating introduction. So in case you're watching me out there, please hit the like button, subscribe, share, and hit the notification button so that you get more updates like this. And go to my videos, you see other immense resources that will benefit you. The major challenge for most people is writing the letter of explanation, and I have a lot of resources that solves that problem for you. And if you need any professional guide, you can send me a mail. The mail will be shown on your screen. Okay, the next paragraph. Now, let me be quick to point that this family, in order for you to go with your husband, yes, as much as Canada supports family coming together, they also want you to have a significant home tie. And the best home tie is your family. So it's your husband or your wife, depending on who is going, or your children that are left at home. It will show that you are going to return. So for a husband, a wife, and their child to go at once, it takes a lot. You must be very skilled at what you do. So this is the next paragraph. As happy as I was when I received my letter of acceptance, I was soon faced with a gruesome fear, stemming from the scores of individuals who have had their visa applications rejected on the basis that they do not satisfy the requirements or convince the High Commissioner enough, and in the end lost their admission before rejection. So I started expressing fear of rejection first, so that the man will know that I know that people are being rejected. But look at the strong reason we gave. However, I soon realized the peculiarity of my study visa application, which gives me both fears and boosts my faith. I am a newlywed. Now, started talking about her. We started talking about her inclination to her husband, the love life that exists between them. So I am a newlywed with less than 3-year-old baby. We have introduced the baby now. My heart has since been ruminating on some questions. Okay, ruminate. You know what it means to ruminate? How can I leave my husband? Oh, if you are the visa officer, it will be so torturing. Whom I had courted for over 5 years before we crossed all traditional and socio-cultural hurdles to be together. Who can I peacefully entrust my baby to in this wicked and perverse generation? Can you see? My husband, my baby. No way. There was an exclamation, because we asked the question and I say, we now put an exclamation. No way. What kind of application can I put forward to the embassy that will get my family considered and not separate me from my priceless jewels? That's our husband and the baby. They are priceless. I know somebody watching me now is smiling. Smile, don't worry. Like, that's what you should do. Help me. Let the algorithm help me. Like it, please. I'm doing a good job. Right? Comment. Thank you. All right. You see, where was I? I'm lost. Okay. No way. Okay, priceless jewels. My husband and baby. None I can think of. It is not going to be me. I can't and won't part ways with either of them. Very strong. Instead, I'd rather part ways with the studies. So you're telling the visa officer that I don't care. This is my family. They mean a lot to me. Right. Howbeit, looking at my husband's dedication and commitment to seeing me pursue my big dream and his willingness to sacrifice anything, his comfort, his company, and all that can help me stay focused through my studies in Canada, just to accompany me and be a nurse to our baby, while I study, have put me on the edge of a needle to put forward my application for the study visa, as well as visitors for my husband and child. Hinge on the study visa requirements I submit thus. Are you seeing it? Acceptance by a designated learning institute. That's another heading. Having satisfied all the admission requirements and duly paid the fees required of me, I've been fully accepted into College Ontario and into the postgraduate and assigned student number, whatever. I've paid the sum of 10,000, 5,000, put it, which is and I've also paid the sum of 9,000, whatever, which is my estimated tuition for first semester. Above all, my stipulated program length is 1 year, a period of 8 months, which I do hope to maximize. Then the next thing, we now talk about the proof of financial support. So, with over 10 years of working experience and still counting, my husband's financial strength, real estate investment, and gross annual income equivalent to 15,000 CAD. My husband, the CEO of RAP Project, the CEO of, I just called RAP Project Links, an ICT security and automation company, a net worth of 30,000 naira annually, has 7 plots of land that houses 6 3-bedroom bungalow in the heart of Kaduna State. He has also 6 shops that have been let out that yields 900,000 annually. We have 2 cars that are currently valued at 16 million. More to that, I am on a paid leave of study with Dash company, so she put it, where my annual gross income equals, and I own this company, a unisex boutique that generates over 150,000 naira in profit per month. So they're talking about their financials. In addition to all the aforementioned, my husband has deposited now, why am I saying it? I'm losing something here. Okay. My husband has deposited a sum of 25 million naira to savings accounts for the sole aim of financing my studies and stay of my dependents, husband and child, ranging the immigration process, studies, accommodation, feeding, health, and other miscellaneous expenses. Furthermore, my parent-in-law, who is a senior citizen with a dual citizenship, Nigeria and Germany, have confirmed to support the temporary stay of my family with a monthly allowance of 9,000 Canadian dollars. All this adds up to reveal my financial dexterity. Can you see I've been talking about the finances of both the husband, the wife, and the affiliation with their family? And to that also is the payment of my acceptance fees as well as my first semester fees. confirming the ability of my family of 3 to live and survive in Canada during my temporary study stay. Now, the next thing to do is please sit back and relax. If you want to maximize this video, the motivation to return to Nigeria upon my course of completion. Number 1, virgin lands to explore. Given my passion upon the completion of my education in Canada, I will be returning to Nigeria and my employer, Technology, in fulfillment of the bond I have signed with the organization. Although Nigeria may not have many huge companies, the work culture is very sorted. I have the best time when I am at work in Nigeria, as I get to apply my ideas effectively and learn new things through the exposure that I get during my work schedule. However, Canada is already a developed country. I may not need my skills. Can you see the thing? We are saying that Canada does not need my skills. It's Nigeria that needs it for its furtherance, as it has enough highly proficient individuals under its belt. And even though the fast-growing economy and the presence of numerous companies have led to its demand for business analysts to skyrocket, which may mean that the country will be facing a shortage of skilled professionals in this field. Nevertheless, with the current awakening in the political and economic space of the African continent, and Nigeria being a giant, can you see how we are fusing how that we will not remain in Canada but she will return? I am poised to return to Nigeria and implement the best practices that are globally acceptable to business analysts and stand as a part of the frontiers in the business analytical space due to low competition and increasing business venture and rising emergence of huge companies. Thus, the vacuum that I seek to fill and contribute my quota in bringing my motherland to the spotlight on the global index is unfeigned. Put differently, the business research analytics sector in Nigeria is still at a primitive stage and requires human experts and more advancements. And I believe that with the help of the knowledge and skills that we attain in Canada, I will become competent enough to contribute largely to the business landscape in Nigeria. Hence, I want to be conducive to my home country, Nigeria, as it is a developing nation and needs more growth. Likewise, I have a long-term goal of transforming the business standard of Nigeria and expanding the opportunities for practical learning as much as possible. To bring my goal to fruition, I have to be in Nigeria, which is why I will return to my native country as soon as my education in Canada comes to an end. Can you see? Now, look at how we talked about how I talked about the reason why she will return to Nigeria. First, I talked about the bond with her family. I now talked about the financial. So if you are the visa officer reading this, you'll be more than convinced. That's why it was approved in 10 days. The evidence is there. Look at it. So now talk about the family ties. This is a very long some people will say write 2 pages. I see some agents deceiving people, say write 2 pages, write 3 pages. Write as much as you can. I've more than proved it that if you know convincing them will take you 6 pages, write it. This is a 6-page letter. Notwithstanding the close-knit bond, that's I'm talking about family ties, the close-knit love bond in my family. I have an unparalleled proclivity to my family, beginning with my mother, Mrs. Due to the various events that preceded my birth, complications, and the challenges that bedeviled my infancy stage, her resilience to stand by me through thick and thin is beyond words that my mouth can explain. And concerning my dad, late who was a great motivation and role model through all, and even selling his prized possessions to have my needs met as I faced slow learning challenges in my conventional learning environment, his unfeigned love, words of affirmation, and exegetical prowess of bringing to play every scripture that fuels my zeal and zest to keep going contributed to this eternal bond that I don't ever want to part. And looking back at all this makes me rhetorically, if you were ever told at some point you had part with your mother to a strange land for over 30 consecutive days, what would be your reaction? And I have continually found my eyes red with tears because it is seemingly unbelievable to me. Can you see how poetic we are? They would know that you really know what you're talking about. You see, more so, And I have continued, yes, more so, looking at my parental support maritally has left me wowed, as they have the solutions to every problem my husband and I were ever confronted with, which has not dwindled from our courtship days and even until now. The love and acceptance we both received, and the way and manner with which they resolved the issues amongst themselves and even between us over banquets, makes me want to stay with them forever, if the law of nature had allowed, even in marriage. However, since it's not so, I do not intend to stay longer than my study period, as there have been more love sharing experiences that I have learned from them, while I and my family pay them our bi-weekly visitation and freshen up our love and commitment towards one another. So I can go on and keep reading, so I'll just jump to academic and professional background so that you see it. So you can write about your academic and professional background. So what we did was that I narrated every school that she went to, from university to all the qualifications that she had. So I listed it. And so what is the motivation to go into Canada? Why Canada? So that's the next thing. I said, I talked about how Canada ranks number 3 on the global index for quality of life. I gave, according to the US News and World Report, I talked about affordability of tuition. We make students to enjoy high quality education at reasonable cost. I talked about how the equality of right to life for international students, how Canada has give equality to international students, respect for fundamental human rights, respect for marriage and family. I talked about their environment and the rest. Then I now talk about why the school. So I went to I research very good things about the school. Then why the course. That's another thing you talk about. And now explain how the course relates to what I'm doing now. Then my future plan. So what are the future plan? I'll return to the company of my family and rebond with my most cherished family and give my dearly beloved mother the best memories till her dying day. You see, I talk about the future plan and linked it not just to a job. You know what I'm saying? So, and I had to now use family bonds. Then the second future plan is return to my company as agreed to my prior study leave grant and satisfy my leave agreement with a space of 3 to 5 years. I'll set up a humanitarian hub. I'll seek out scholarship opportunities for intelligent, business-oriented youths. And by the year 2050, to have helped at least 1,000 small and medium-scale enterprises in Nigeria. So you see, then conclusion, and we are done. Write your supporting documents. So some of the supporting documents, so we added our supporting documents to show everything that we have written. So if you want me, if you have gotten value, like, subscribe. I don't share what every other person shares. I give you value. So if you want me to write professionally written SOPs like this, send a mail. And until I come your way next time, thank you.